Welcome into Locked On Phillies. The Phils take a first game of a huge road trip down in Atlanta. Zack Wheeler dices. We'll look into tonight's game as well and preview that, and a question about Zack Wheeler's performance and how it makes you feel on today's Locked On Phillies.
You are Locked On Phillies, your daily Philadelphia Phillies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, this is Locked On Phillies. I am your host, Connor Thomas. Been talking Phillies baseball for years over on 97.5 The Fanatic on the radio. Now happy to be here with you as your host of Locked On Phillies. And I want to thank you, as always, for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. A big win for the Philadelphia Phillies last night and a nice offensive performance from a team that had been struggling offensively. I mean, honestly, I don't know what more you could have wanted to see out of the first game of a road trip than what you saw last night from the Philadelphia Phillies down there at Truist Park in Atlanta. Let's just take a look first off at the play-by-play and talk you through exactly how, well, all of the runs were scored in the Phillies' 7-3 victory over the Braves. Now, in the top of the second inning, Tyler Davidson, who was pitching for Atlanta, who they mentioned on the broadcast, actually did get a World Series start in replacement of Charlie Morton, who had a broken leg in that World Series and was dealing with that. Well, Tyler Davidson, young pitcher, but still he's got that moment behind him, so you expect him to be up and ready for it. He's not an ace, though. He's probably not even a major league caliber pitcher yet to be part of a rotation. He's not a pushover, though. He's going to be one day, just early for him. Well, in the second inning, with the bases loaded and one out, Rhys Hoskins doubled to right field, scoring Roman Quinn, scoring Kyle Schwarber, scoring JT Realmuto, and just like that, after squandering a first and second opportunity with no outs, a second and third opportunity with no outs as well, or with one out rather, in the top of the first. Well, the Phillies get three in the top of the second, and when the Phillies score first, man, they're a really hard team to beat. Then in the top of the third, well, the Phillies said, you know what? We'll just go ahead and extend that lead a little bit. JT Realmuto ripped one down the left field line, a little bit of trouble in the corner, and he ended up on third base. Kyle Schwarber was on base for that one. He scored easily, making it a 4-0 game. And then Davidson was relieved. It doesn't matter, though. Roman Quinn had a nice double to deep right center. Well, was it really a nice double? No, he hit basically a deep fly ball that there was miscommunication in the outfield on. And, well, it just ended with Yohan Camargo scoring and JT Realmuto scoring, and it allowed Roman Quinn to end up on second with those wheels. Weird miscommunication, gave the Phillies a couple more runs, made it 6-0 in favor of the away team. And then in the top of the fourth, the Phillies would complete their scoring by a Gene Segura single to center field. Alec Bohm would score easily on that one, and it's 7-0 Phillies. Okay, well, all you really need is Zack Wheeler to continue doing what he was doing, which was working out a little bit of trouble, but still being his dominant self. I'll ruin the surprise for you. He finished with 6 2/3 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. He struck out 10. He was going to be just fine with that 7-run lead. Now, he did give up a run on a Dansby Swanson single to right field that scored Austin Riley. He gave up another run in the bottom of the 7th inning as he was trying to work through his last inning of work. Austin Riley single to center, and Ozzie Albies scored on that one. But all good there. The Phillies had already given themselves enough of a lead. And then Zack Wheeler, well, he was relieved after 6 2/3 innings of work, like I just told you. Now, the only issue in this game, if you could pick anything out whatsoever, it's the fact that Jeurys Familia came in and put the Phillies in a very, very bad spot in relief of Zack Wheeler. He actually left the bases loaded for Connor Brogdon, who came in, and, well, Connor Brogdon allowed one hit that would end up being a charge run to Jeurys Familia because those runners were inherited, but worked out of a jam to get through just 1/3 of an inning. Then, well, you're already in the 8th inning because that got you through. Jeurys Familia had gotten through the little bit with Zack Wheeler, and then he went ahead and took care of the next inning as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at what happened with the Atlanta Braves pitching. Tyler Davidson, just 2 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 5 runs, 5 earned. Not a great situation for him. Chavez came in, was the first man out of the pen for the Atlanta Braves, Jesse Chavez, and he was not much better. He gave up 2 runs, 2 earned. He has weird glasses, like not rec specs, but he's got those. I've always thought they were kind of dorky. The Tyler Clippard type. They look like Oakley's, but they're clear and probably prescription or whatever. He gave up a couple runs. The rest of the bullpen was fine for the Braves, had 3 more relievers go. But the offense just didn't pick up enough at the end. Corey Knebel shuts the door for the Philadelphia Phillies and closes down for not a save, but still a great opportunity for him to get some late inning work and continue to be a solid part of that back end of the pen, gets the ERA to 3 even. Looking at who performed specifically for the Phillies in this one on the box score, well, Rhys Hoskins was 1 for 4, but his one hit, well, it was a 3 RBI double. He also walked to lead off the game, showing just why the team is comfortable with him in that leadoff spot right now. Alec Bohm was 2 for 4. He's back up to batting 292, hanging around that 300 mark. Bryce Harper, only 1 for 5. And the one hit he did have, well, it was a pop fly down the third base line that there was more miscommunication with between some Atlanta Braves defenders. He's been struggling a little bit, but I'm going to attribute to a little bit of rust with the week off he took. He may still be getting used to stuff going on with his elbow after that PRP injection. He's batting 292 so far on the year. Nick Castellanos an 0 for 5. It was a tough night for him. But Gene Segura, 2 for 5. JT Realmuto, 2 for 4. I mean, that's nice days from them. And Kyle Schwarber walked 3 times. Great patience shown by him last night in the game. Scored twice. Even though he didn't have a hit, well, he didn't have many chances to because he wasn't getting much to see. Yohan Camargo, 1 hit in his return. He was gifted his World Series ring as a member of the Atlanta Braves last year. He had 1 hit in his welcome, and he caught the final out of the game on a line drive. And Roman Quinn had a nice RBI on the day, or 2 RBIs rather, on a single that, or well, a double that it was a single that he stretched into a double because of his wheels. He went 1 for 3. That's the offensive output that you'd expect from the Philadelphia Phillies with this lineup, with this team as talented as it is. And hopefully they continue to do that as the series moves on. But I said in yesterday's episode, talking about the walk-off against the Dodgers, well, that's a game that can build momentum. It can give you confidence. But it's up to the Phillies to capitalize on that momentum. Well, partially because Zack Wheeler was his dominant ace-level self, and also partially because the offense woke up and had a performance worthy of some of their salaries and the names we see on the back of their jerseys. The Phillies did, in fact, capitalize on that momentum gained from the last game against the Dodgers. But hey, momentum shouldn't just last over 1 or 2 games. They need to continue to stay hot, and they need to take as many games as possible in this 7-game stretch in the NL East. They're 1-0 so far, but they're back at it again tonight down there in Atlanta. And coming up next, well, I'll tell you why I think they make it 3 wins in a row, and why, if you're betting some money, take the Phillies money line tonight, maybe even take the spread, because the Braves looked rough defensively, and there's some other reasons why I like what the Phillies are going to do tonight. At least what I'm projecting them to do tonight. We'll see if they actually come through. Our partners at BetOnline, well, they continue to be the #1 source for all of your betting needs and sports info. They're awesome. You can find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League Baseball scores, fights, and even next season's NFL future. Take a look at the Birds. They've made some huge offseason moves. A lot of Super Bowl talk around the town. Maybe you can get them at a nice number, good odds for an NFL future championship. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, from live betting to playoffs. They've even got esports and much, much more. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. All right, well, the Phils, they won 1 game, but they haven't won the series yet. And even if they do win the series against Atlanta, they're going to need to stay hot when they go into New York with the Mets and face them for 3 games up there. So let's see if the Phils can make it 3 in a row. First, I'll just tell you, looking at the ESPN matchup predictor for tonight, and we'll talk about why this could be, the Braves are listed as having a 61.1% chance of winning this game. 38.9% for the Phillies. Not exactly encouraging, but here's why I think that you should look at the Phillies as a chance to win tonight. Well, Kyle Gibson goes for the Phillies. Gibson has been good this year. Probably honestly better than what his stats show at the 3-2 record 3.98 ERA, a 1.23 whip. In 43 innings pitched, he's allowed 40 hits, given up 13 walks, but struck out 37, has given up 4 home runs. Gibson's been a bit unlucky this year with some of the run support he's gotten. And I also think he's gotten probably the worst defense. It's between him and Ranger Suarez, who have had the worst defense behind them. Just unlucky times to be pitching. And he has given up some hard contact in games. He has had some rough starts, but he's also had some dominant starts. And we'll see what he does tonight against Atlanta. But the nice thing about Kyle Gibson, of course, he was with the Phillies for part of last year at the trade deadline, but he spent a majority of the time last year in the American League on the Texas Rangers with a team that Atlanta doesn't see very often. So this is a pitcher. It's not like Zack Wheeler, where the Braves have seen him for a couple years, or Aaron Nola or Zach Eflin, where the Braves have seen him for a couple years. Even Ranger Suarez, they saw him for multiple years because he had time as a reliever, slight time as a reliever before last season when he had his breakout time as a starter. Gibson, probably the biggest unknown of the 5 starting pitchers, and the Braves can get scouting. I don't want to overstate the point that, they have no idea who Kyle Gibson is. Of course they do. But I'm just saying that could definitely have an effect. And Max Fried goes for the Braves. He's been good this year. He's 4-2, 3.31 ERA, a whip just over 1 at 1.04, 49 innings pitched, 45 hits given up. He struck out 47. He's been a strikeout machine. He's got 10 more than Kyle Gibson. He's only walked 6. So not only is his strikeout numbers better, his command has been better. He's given up 4 home runs, though, even with Kyle Gibson. So maybe you can burn him with the long ball. Max Fried, though, is the biggest reason why the match predictor says the Braves have a greater than 60% chance to win tonight. You know why I say BS to that? Well, because I told you this before. The Phillies hit left-handed pitching pretty darn well. Who are their big left-handed bats? Well, you think Didi Gregorius, not really playing right now. Got the issues with injury and everything like that. Bryce Harper, okay. Kyle Schwarber. All right, so that's 2 guys. 2.5 if you count Didi. Let's call it a full 3 if you combine Didi and Bryson Stott. But we don't even know who's going to be playing tonight. We don't have a lineup yet at the time I'm recording this. You look at the good right-handed hitters. Well, Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto, Gene Segura, Rhys Hoskins. There's 4 premier hitters from the right side of the plate. Lefties are not as advantageous against the Phillies this year, so maybe they can take advantage of Max Fried. That's what I'm betting on. If I'm getting good odds, and I'm going to try and take advantage of where the bookmakers are putting the line for tonight's game, well, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, hey, the Phillies might be undervalued. Atlanta, you can get at minus 175 odds according to the ESPN page here that breaks down everything for the game. Well, I'm taking the Phillies in this one. I think they stay hot. Let's go through the leaders again to see if anything changed. Well, home runs wise, Kyle Schwarber still leads the Phillies with 10. Marcell Ozuna has 8 for the Atlanta Braves. Nothing changed there. Gene Segura, though, is now leading the Phillies in batting average with 294 as Bryce Harper continues to slip. Matt Olson with 244 average is leading the Braves. And Marcell Ozuna and Bryce Harper both in the same spots RBIs-wise, both still leading the team. So that's what you're looking at. But, man, you saw it last night. The other thing that I think is being a little bit understated by those lines, the Braves' defense was bad last night. It was real bad. And it wasn't like, the Phillies would have won if the Braves hadn't committed so many errors. But I'd be worried about that if I was looking at these next 3 games as a Braves fan, seeing how hard this Phillies offense hits the ball and how consistent they are at getting the ball in play. From their perspective, don't tell them this offense was slumping just 2 games ago, just probably a game ago, actually. But I'd be a little bit worried if I was a Braves fan about this Phillies offense getting hot and what they could do defensively to stop it. So, hey, we'll see what happens tonight. But I like the Philadelphia Phillies in this contest, and hopefully they can pull it out. What you will see is you're going to see my immediate reaction to this Phillies game, win or lose, and all other big news on Locked On Nows. Thank you, as always, for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. Locked On Nows are just a great listen. The Locked On Now podcast, it puts together all of those immediate reaction videos from our hosts across Major League Baseball, reacting to breaking news, wins, losses, all of the big things happen across the country in the game of baseball. Well, it's put together in one nice package. We're the only podcast outlet, media outlet that does it. like we do with our experts on top of the game, inside and out. Well, you can only get it from Locked On. The good news is you don't have to search hard to find where you can get it because it's available wherever you get your podcast. So make sure you check out Locked On Nows. Now, in the final segment today, we're going to go ahead and discuss something interesting about Zack Wheeler. So I was posed a question today by someone who works for me over on the John Kincaid Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'll give him his props on the other side and tell you exactly who it was, but I don't want to give too much away about this. But they asked me a question about Zack Wheeler. It was like, wow, wasn't he fun to watch last night? Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that exciting? And I thought about it for a little bit, and I came up with a very interesting thought, a very interesting answer, and a theory that I need to run by you to see, man, am I crazy? Or is this normal, how I'm feeling about Zack Wheeler and the performance he put out, not only last night, but the ones he puts out when he's out on the mound and the style in which he pitches. I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about next. All right. Our next partner has a product I use literally every day. I started taking Athletic Greens. AG1 is what they call it. I used to not eat very well. Well, I still don't eat very well. If you listen to me on the radio, you know that. If you listen to me on here, you know that because I tell you every time I tell you about AG1. And the best part is I'm healthy. I'm in great shape. And I feel awesome every day with great energy because of AG1. I get all of the nutrients and nutrition that I need. Now, I'm not recommending you to eat like me because I eat terribly. But even if you eat well, Athletic Greens is a great source of multivitamins, nutrition, and everything. There's 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens, all in just this one shake you drink every day. It's smaller than your average protein shake. It tastes fine, and it's easy to go ahead and put down in the morning so you can get your day started healthily. Let me tell you the importance of a multivitamin, right? Because I don't really know this. This is something that the people at Athletic Greens have told me that's great for me. I trust them because I feel great when I take it. A multivitamin, well, tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, but it's important to choose one with high-quality ingredients. AG1, well, they source it themselves. Much smarter people than me or you or anyone out there who takes these special drinks has figured out what the best 75 vitamins and multivitamins and great food are, and they put it together. And AG1 it's a small micro habit. It takes 2 minutes out of your day. Big benefits, though. You definitely need to try it out. And I've got a great deal for you when you do. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB Network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/MLB Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. All right, so I was teasing the Zack Wheeler conversation that I wanted to have, and I need to know if I'm alone in this. So please get at me in the comments on YouTube, tweet at me on Twitter at ConnorThomas975. You can see it right down there. Give me a follow. Give me a follow to LO_Phillies, which is our Locked On Phillies main account for this podcast. Check it all out on social media, but let me know what you think about this one because Bob Cooney, who's great, he covered the Sixers for years. He's on the John Kincaid Show with me. He's very good to listen to in the mornings. If you're not familiar with him, check out some of Bob Cooney's work. He's great, awesome guy. And he asked me when I came in this morning, bright and early at like 4 a.m., which is basically post time for the John Kincaid Show when we get in there. He was like, how exciting was Zack Wheeler last night? I was like, you know what? Zack Wheeler doesn't really excite me with the way he pitches. And that's crazy to say about a guy who won, well, almost won, should have won, in my mind, should have definitely won the NL Cy Young last year, but won second place in the NL Cy Young voting. So I guess it's not really winning. He came in second place. But why is it? And I had to ask myself, why, Connor, do you not find it exciting when Zack Wheeler pitches? And for me, this may just be my experience with the game of baseball, right? So I know for a fact you can walk into any D3 conference in the country and you can find a guy sitting in the mid-90s. Now, that guy might stink. That guy might not be able to locate, but especially in the modern day, velocity is king. Being able to throw hard is of utmost importance. And so what do people do? Well, they go out and they train their whole lives to be able to throw 98, 99, 100 consistently. And now we see starters across Major League Baseball. Before, it was just relievers. Remember when Aroldis Chapman first came up as a member of the Cincinnati Reds? And we're like, wow, who is this dude touching 104, touching 105? Well, he only pitches one inning. He's going max effort. Well, now you see guys out there that are touching 99, 100 in a starter role and then going 6, 7 innings and not keeping it up the whole way. But like the velocity has raised so much. And you know what? Honestly, I think seeing so many young players that are not polished athletes yet or that may never be and can just throw really hard has kind of diluted I'm trying to think of the right word for it. It's kind of made it less exciting. I'll just put it in simple terms. Velocity is less exciting than it used to be because it's so common. What I think is more exciting for me is the finesse pitcher with movement and everything because I know how hard it is to do that. Not that what Zack Wheeler does is not hard at all. It's taking away. What I'm doing is incredibly taking away from how talented he is as a pitcher. And I don't mean to do that, but that's the nature of how I'm feeling. So I'm trying to talk through it. Just when I see a guy who's a power pitcher, whose fastball is one of his more dominant pitches, I'm like, okay, well, he throws hard and he locates. But what I think is like those crazy breaking balls, the sliders that break 16 inches, the 12-6 curves that drop off the table, the changeups, the splitters, the cutters, everything that the guys throw with movement at the major league level is just, it's more impressive and exciting. Impressive isn't even the right word. It's more exciting to me. I get up out of my chair for a ball that makes a guy like a knee buckling curveball than I do for 99 at the letters anymore. And it used to be when I see 99 on the gun, I'm like, oh my goodness, do you see how hard this guy's throwing? Turn to the guy to my right, turn to the guy to my left. Am I crazy? Did he really just hit 99 or 100? Now, velocity is so common that it almost feels like we undervalue power pitchers like Zack Wheeler. Maybe that was part of the argument for why he didn't win Cy Young last year. Who knows? That's just how I'm feeling. So get at me in the comments and let me know if you feel the same way. But that's all of the time I have for you today on Locked On Phillies. Got a big game tonight between the Phillies and the Braves. Kyle Gibson versus Max Fried. Hopefully the Phillies can pull out another one, and I think they will. I want to thank you as always for making Locked On Phillies your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sullivan, Sully, he knows baseball inside and out. He's an encyclopedia of stories and terms and everything about the game that you may have never heard of. And he covers the game on a daily basis, keeping you up to date on what's going on around Major League Baseball. So check out Locked On MLB. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Again, that's it for today's show, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.